As I'm recording this, I am 24 years old. I've had many good years and a few worst years, but 2022 was the hardest year of my life. I got a promotion at work, I started creating content for social media, I learned to choose myself over potential romantic partners, and all of these things are worth celebrating, but the year was greatly overshadowed by the loss of a mentor of mine who I saw in my life forever, and they did not want to see tomorrow. Radical shifts in my family dynamics due to death, trust issues, and differing opinions on respect, and the withering of a friendship that lasted almost a decade. Time heals all wounds, but it also strengthens resentment. I hold on to things because I care. I care about people who are close to me, I care about their well-being, I care about their happiness, I care about our friendship, and I want to be a good person to the people I care about most. With last year starting off in hell, I needed care. I needed people to care about me. I needed people to care about my well-being. I needed people to value our friendship, and I needed the people I loved to love me back and love hard. In the time I needed people the most, I realized the person I cared about most didn't care about me at all. I thought back to all of the great memories we had and the times that they blatantly ignored my cries for help, thinking about the ways that I went out of my way for them and how I could watch them get bored as I discussed my issues. I thought about how I expressed to them that being invited to an event they were hosting would make me feel valued by them, and they chose not to invite me. When they were going through critical scenarios, I came with an entire kit ready to help them as they needed. They only ever had band-aids and an ice pack to throw at me, which I was fine with until I started needing stitches and surgeries. Sometimes I wondered if I needed too much or if they were going through it and I was giving them the wrong treatment, but they never complained. Sometimes I wondered if that was the issue. Were they being a bad friend to me because I was being a bad friend to them and they didn't want to say anything? Were they telling me and I just wasn't listening? And were we ever really friends? They never really opened up to me about their life, so it made me question, did I make them uncomfortable or just not comfortable enough? And I cycled through questions for months, reflected on our relationships and experiences, trying to recall what could have gone wrong, terrified that if I shared what I was feeling, we wouldn't be friends. But I sat here for months thinking about them, and I watched them have fun with other people and without me. I hadn't heard from them for months. We hadn't seen each other for months. We hadn't talked for months. We hadn't been friends for months. They didn't care about me for months. And I thought about them every single day for months. When we finally spoke, my biggest fear was them reacting as they always had. I'm sorry you feel that way. And I let them know how I've been hurt by them and for how long, and I shared with them my fear. I'm sorry, was their response. And I understood that the "you feel that way" was implied, and I realized how much they didn't care. And eventually they admitted to believing that they thought I didn't care about them and that they were going through things, but made no attempt to explain. They told me that I needed space. But I didn't need space. I had space for months. What I needed were people who loved me. And I asked if they needed space, and they called me anxiety-inducing. So I gave them their space. It's been months, and I haven't heard from them. I unfollowed them because it hurt me to see them have fun without me. And they unfollowed me because I was anxiety-inducing. Before the year ended, I wrote a letter to the people who hurt me in 2022. Theirs didn't burn all the way, and I guess that's why I still think of them, because I don't think about anybody else I wrote letters to. The only thing that gets me to stop thinking about them is to remind myself that it is an honor to be loved by me. I cared for them, and I will continue to care for them in ways that they might not believe is actually happening, but I cared for them. I will always care for them, and I do currently continue to care for them. They were an important part of my life, and they will always be that in my memories. I love them hard, and I love them whether or not they asked or noticed. I continue to do so, and hopefully they don't find out, because I don't want to be praised for the love that I give them. I want it to be reciprocated, and as I'm recording this, I can't imagine not loving them, but I know I can't love them forever, because it's an honor to be loved by me, and the pleasure is all theirs. And one day I will receive a love like mine. And that is what I learned in January.